Well, the big new issue is how much will it cost to charge your electric car in public. We're looking at Nick Chambers' article in pluggincars.com. The issue is not charging it at home at night, but the whole concept of range anxiety. When you're out on the road and the power starts to get low, where can you charge it? And how much does it cost? Regardless of whether or not you buy into the idea that public charging stations are critical for the widespread acceptance of electric cars, there is currently a huge push in this country and around the world to get public stations installed to prepare for the first wave of plug-ins. Programs like the EV Project, as well as some state and locally funded initiatives, are using a combination of taxpayer and private resources to put charge stations in key locations. The EV Project alone seeks to put in more than 15,000 of them by the end of the next year. In addition, several privately held organizations seeking to become major players in the charging network world have announced plans to create their own networks, including Colum Technologies, Ecotality, and NRG Energy. Most public charging, at least initially, will cost an incredibly high $3.50 per hour charging. This is a result of two factors. Current laws typically preclude anybody but utilities from selling electricity by the kilowatt hour, and any charge station operator who wants to make some money on the deal has to plan for the worst case usage. They have to bill charge station users about 50 cents per kilowatt hour at the privately owned stations, roughly 4 times the national residential average of 12 cents per kilowatt hour, because the car charging group can't charge by the kilowatt hour in most states. They have to resort to charging in 1 hour increments. This strategy ends up being unfair because not all cars charge at the same rate, and on a level 2 charge station, Chevy Bolt can add 2.2 kilowatt per hour. Nissan Leaf can add 5.3 kilowatts. Dakota Sedan can add a different amount, 6.0, and so forth. And the Tesla can add 7.2 kilowatts. So, using these chargers in the first year, that means you'd be paying $3.50 for roughly 13 minutes of range. You charge for a full hour, which seems like highway robbery. It's interesting to note that the car charging group seems to be cooperating with Colum and the stations they install, which will operate on Colum's ChargePoint network. Some are operating on a flat fee model, when users get to fill up with unlimited amounts of juice at all network cargo charge stations, even at home, for a net monthly price. In addition, there will likely be a large number of charge stations that are offered for free as part of a customer using some offer service. Come here for electricity and also stop at our hotel, coffee shop, garage, and so forth. So there is certainly an impetus for businesses to install the station and give away the electricity as a side benefit. Also, vendors are now providing locations of their charger that you can find out on your navigation or various cell phone arrangements. We studied an article from the newsobserver.com on Triangle in North Carolina. It's a growing effort to test the technology, as well as assure owners of electric vehicles they won't be too far for a charge. The Morrisville, North Carolina stations are part of a 2-year study started by Progress Energy to understand the impact of charging vehicles on the electric grid. The company, now part of Duke Energy, is using the stations to track how often they are used. Raleigh was one of 3 cities to partner with the Rocky Mountain Institute, which we know, on Project Get Ready, which aims to help cities prepare for the growth of electric vehicles. Harris said that in Raleigh said that the average charge time was 1 to 2 hours, suggesting drivers are using the city stations to top off their batteries rather than fully charge them. Virginia-based Evitran will soon install wireless charging stations for use in Raleigh. Evitran's chargers are mounted to the ground, much like a manhole cover, allowing a vehicle to park over the charger and refuel without being physically plugged in. So, quite exciting, lots of ideas. You got that right.